The film opens with a car carrying 6 teenagers suffering a tire blowout on a desolate road. The vehicle swerves violently at high speed, causing one of the women, Jody, to hit her head. The group consists of 3 men and 3 women, Sarah in pink, Karen in a green jacket, and the injured Jody, along with Jeff in a blue shirt, Todd in a button-down shirt, and Eric in white. They are traveling to attend the birthday party of Jody's younger sister in a remote town, so isolated that barely any cars pass through each month. Initially, everything seems normal and unthreatening. Todd, the car's owner, plans to replace the tire with the spare. With 3 men present, this should be a simple task. Yet, amidst the crisis, Sarah is still preoccupied with taking selfies for social media. However, the extreme remoteness means there is almost no signal. Curious, Karen walks just a few meters in the opposite direction and finally finds a faint connection. Minutes later, under the scorching sun, Jody and Karen seek shade behind the car. Eric, needing to relieve himself, heads into the nearby bushes. Meanwhile, Todd is too busy flirting with Sarah to help, leaving Jeff to change the tire alone. Eventually, Sarah joins Jody and Karen in the shade, leaving Jeff completely on his own. As Jeff nearly finishes changing the tire, the slight downhill slope causes the spare tire to roll away. While chasing it, he accidentally spots a bullet lying in the middle of the road. At that same moment, Todd notices the rolling tire and runs after it. Sarah decides to check on Jeff's progress, but she is horrified to discover that Jeff has already been killed in a gruesome manner. Shocked by the gruesome sight, Sarah stood frozen in silence. Todd retrieved the tire, still oblivious to the deadly danger surrounding them. In an instant, Sarah was struck by a bullet from an unseen source. Karen and Jody remained unaware of the threat until Sarah's eye was pierced by a round, followed immediately by another shot. Realizing the peril, Karen screamed for everyone to take cover behind the car. Todd, caught off guard and slow to react, was shot in the left shoulder. Eric, unable to reach the vehicle, was forced to hide behind a tree trunk. The group endured relentless gunfire, using the car as their only shield. None of them had anticipated that a simple flat tire would spiral into such a nightmare. It became clear that the blowout was caused by a trap set by the shooter. An hour later, trapped and confused, Karen, who came from a military family, deduced that the sniper was using a silencer, explaining the lack of noise. She also noted that the bullets failed to penetrate the car, indicating the shooter was positioned at a significant distance. Todd, weakened by his shoulder wound, could barely move. Eric remained hidden behind the tree, hoping for a miracle. They realized that Jeff had nearly finished changing the tire before he died. It only needed tightening. Desperate for a way out, Karen recalled that she had detected a faint phone signal just 3 meters away in the opposite direction. Jody handed Todd a selfie stick from her pocket to extend his reach. Karen activated her phone's voice assistant to dial 911 automatically once a signal was found. Todd stretched the phone out with the selfie stick and successfully caught a signal. However, just as Karen shouted to make the call, the psychopathic sniper shot the phone out of his hand from afar. Todd devised a second plan: shift the car into neutral so it could roll backward toward the area with cell signal. They organized their positions carefully. Jody stood at the front to record the source of the gunfire, while Karen positioned herself at the rear, holding a decoy dummy. Todd attempted to enter the vehicle to shift the gear. As he moved, the dummy was instantly shot, confirming the sniper's active presence. Todd dove into the car, trying to turn the key, but the relentless gunfire forced him to dodge, preventing him from shifting the gear in time. However, Jody successfully captured footage of the shooter, revealing a camouflaged sniper perched high in a tree. The sniper's motives remained unclear, but his long-term positioning suggested cold calculation. Unable to shift the gear yet, Todd spotted his toolkit behind the car. Risking his life, he retrieved it and used the metal lid as a makeshift shield for his hand. Meanwhile, Eric remained hidden behind the tree, unaware of the group's desperate maneuvers. With his hand protected, Todd signaled Karen and Jody to get ready. He rushed back into the car and finally shifted the gear into neutral, but not before taking a bullet to his hand. The car immediately began rolling downhill. Karen and Jody struggled to hold the vehicle back. The force was too great, Jody's grip slipped, causing her to be thrown aside and left behind. The sniper then shot the unsecured spare tire, bringing the car to a sudden halt. Karen realized this was Jody's only chance to escape, as the sniper was reloading. At that same moment, Eric attempted to flee from his position behind the tree, but he was shot in the leg before he could make any progress. Unlike Jody, who had a brief window, Eric was trapped. The sniper did not deliver a killing blow, instead choosing to let Eric suffer and bleed out slowly. An hour later, Todd found a remaining water bottle in the car seat. Despite their extreme thirst, they tried to share the small amount. When Eric reached for a sip, the sniper shot his hand again, worsening his injury. It was a cruel display of power, reminding them that while the sniper was human and likely felt hunger and thirst himself, he derived satisfaction from their prolonged suffering. Karen was trapped, unable to move. Jody, desperate to relieve herself, had no choice but to urinate beside Karen. Meanwhile, Todd watched in horror as crows began to feed on his girlfriend's corpse. Overcome with grief and denial, he recklessly walked into the open to reach Sarah's body. Surprisingly, the mysterious sniper did not shoot immediately. Todd managed to kiss Sarah one last time and hold her hand in the middle of the road. Elsewhere, Eric, nearing death, saw a wolf approaching him. He accepted his fate, knowing the animal would devour him alive. Just then, Todd, who was defiantly challenging the sniper, spotted a car passing in the distance. It was a rare sight with slim odds of help, but as soon as he was seen, the sniper opened fire. The gunfire scared off the wolf, saving Eric from being eaten, but Todd was killed instantly, collapsing beside his girlfriend's body. Now only Karen and Jody remained alive. The driver of the passing car spotted them and waved. However, the sniper shot the woman's hand, severing her ring finger. Blood sprayed everywhere, covering the car's interior. The driver lost control, swerving and hitting Todd's car, which caused Jeff's decapitated head to detach completely. In an instant, their only hope vanished. The female driver, though severely injured, regained consciousness briefly before being shot multiple times by the sniper. Her husband, who had been thrown from the vehicle, tried to save their child. Karen and Jody screamed for him to take cover behind the car. In this critical moment, Karen urged the man to call 911 as he was positioned in an area with signal. The sniper, unsure of the man's exact location, began shooting at the car's fuel tank until it leaked. The vehicle eventually exploded, leaving the man with no shelter. He slowly burned to death. Across the road, the couple's second child, who had just regained consciousness amidst severe injuries, was shot in the head by the sniper, causing it to explode. Over the next few minutes, things did not improve for Karen and Jody. Instead, they were forced to witness death after death, each more gruesome than the last. They were left confused and terrified, wondering how they could possibly escape a psychopathic sniper when even rescue vehicles could not safely traverse this deadly road. Finally, Karen came up with a plan. They would make their move at night. She reasoned that the sniper's visibility would be severely reduced by smoke in the darkness. As night fell, the mysterious shooter continued to monitor the area, missing nothing. Karen prepared a cutter to slice open the car seats, while Jody retrieved a bottle of gasoline, a bag of clothes, and a box of drinks from the trunk. Fortunately, there were 2 drinks left, which they quickly consumed to steady their nerves. Jody took shirts from the bag to use as makeshift masks, then poured the gasoline onto the car seats. Karen lit a newspaper with a match and tossed it into the car. The vehicle immediately caught fire, producing thick smoke. However, the smoke wasn't enough to provide a clear escape route. The distant psychopath grew frustrated as his line of sight became obscured. Suddenly, Karen spotted a police car approaching. This meant the 911 call made by the father had been successful and traced. The police even brought 2 snipers of their own to counter the threat. Realizing the situation was unfavorable, the arriving officer called for state backup. But before he could do more, his jaw was shot by the mysterious gunman. In a tragic twist, the officer slumped over the steering wheel, accidentally pressing the accelerator. Seizing the moment, Karen urged Jody to run, but Jody refused, paralyzed by fear. Reluctantly, Karen ran alone. Unfortunately, the smoke began to thin, and she was instantly shot and killed on the spot. Now only 2 of the 4 officers remained. Jody, seeing no other option, dashed toward the nearby police car. A shootout ensued, but the mysterious sniper was far more skilled. Both remaining officers were killed. With no choices left, Jody drove the police car, aiming directly at the tree where the sniper was hiding. Miraculously, she hit the tree, knocking the sniper down. Jody rushed out to grab the fallen rifle while the sniper struggled to cut the ropes binding him. It became clear that this man had no life outside of killing. He had been waiting in that tree specifically for victims, though his identity remained unknown throughout the film. Overwhelmed by fear and urgency, Jody shot him multiple times until he died. Still unsatisfied, she attempted one final headshot, but the rifle jammed. Frustrated, she smashed his face with the butt of the gun until it was unrecognizable. Noticing scratches on the rifle, she realized each mark represented a victim killed on this road. As a final farewell, Jody raised the gun to strike his head again, but the rifle accidentally discharged, shooting her in the neck. The story serves as a grim reminder: always know the roads you travel, for danger may lurk where you least expect it.